seconds left. A scrum on the board. That's all she wrote. And BU will see you in Tampa. The Terriers are headed to the Frozen Four. The BU faithful who've made the under an hour drive up to Manchester celebrate with their Terriers as they're headed to their first Frozen Four since 2015. 23rd Frozen Four for BU. It's time to celebrate for the Terriers here in Manchester. Congratulations to the BU Terriers.
BU going back to the Frozen Four for the first time since 2015, led by first-year head coach Jay Pandolfo, no stranger to the Frozen Four. When he was a player at BU, 4 consecutive trips to the Frozen Four, won the national championship in 2005, and then won 2 Stanley Cups in the NHL with the New Jersey Devils. The BU head coach, Jay Pandolfo, joining us now on NHL Tonight. Jay, congratulations on all your success. As we mentioned, first year behind the bench at BU. What has your first season in collegiate hockey been like for you?
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been great up to this point. It's been a lot of fun. I was here last year as an associate head coach, so I really got to know the players well, and this year has been great. The players have bought into playing a certain way and doing everything it takes to win, and that's important. And we have an older group here this year at BU. Typically, BU has a younger team. We have 17 upperclassmen, so that's helped me a lot. It's made my job a lot easier. The players have done a great job of holding themselves accountable. That always makes it easier for a head coach.
Pando, my old friend, how are you? First off, congratulations. And we missed you at the 20-year anniversary of the 2003 Cup team, but I understand you were a little bit busy.
What's up, Kenny? Yeah, I missed it. We were up in Vermont that weekend. I got a bunch of texts from the guys, and they said, as usual, the Devils were first class, and heard it was a lot of fun, so I missed you guys.
It certainly was, and we missed you, Pando. And I don't want to blow too much smoke your way, but Jay Pandolfo was one of my all-time favorite teammates just because the way he conducted himself on and off the ice. But Pando, I will say, as a player, you know, we always wonder who's going to go on and be a coach, a manager, a general manager, or in management. And I don't know if I saw you as a coach as intelligent as you were on the ice, because you were a very smart hockey player. When was it that you decided, like, I know with the Bruins as an assistant, and when was it that you decided, like, this is my future, I want to coach, and now coaching kids that, you know, a lot of them have a bright future going on to the National Hockey League eventually, but you got some work to do in the Frozen Four.
Yeah, I think first it was I started in player development with the Bruins, and you know, I was living in Boston, the proximity to Providence. I was going down there on a regular basis, working with the prospects, and at the time they had Bruce Cassidy and Kevin Dean were the 2 coaches down there, and they didn't really have a forward coach, so I was actually on the bench with them a lot on Friday night games down in Providence, and I think that's kind of when I got the bug. I enjoyed it. It's the closest thing to being a player, being on the bench, being part of it, being on the ice and practice every day. And I give Bruce Cassidy and Kevin Dean a lot of credit. They opened me with open arms. They helped me out a lot, and I don't think I'd be here today without those 2 guys. And they could tell I enjoyed it, and they helped me along the way here.
Jay, congratulations. You know, your combination from pro to the college ranks, we hear about today's player. It's a different player than when we played. And we're a little bit older than you, so even when you go back farther than that, those differences are including the player in a lot of things going on. You say you have an older group. How important is it for your group, and how much have you really involved your guys in a lot of the decision-making over the course of the season?
Yeah, I think it's very important, and it's meant a lot to me that I have this older group that they right away they came to me and they wanted to help out in any way they could, and I've had them involved a lot. We have regular meetings with the captains, and they came back here for a reason. They wanted a chance and an opportunity to win. BU has a rich tradition and history of doing well, and in their 4 years they felt like they didn't accomplish as much as they could have, and coming back, they had a motivation to do well, and I think that's a big reason we're at because of these guys.
Almost a week off between your last game and heading down to Tampa to face Minnesota coming up in the Frozen Four. How do you spend the week, and how do you keep your team dialed in and focused on the prize at the end?
Yeah, first we made sure we took a couple of days off. We're this time of year everyone's banged up, so we've got a few injuries, and we want to give the guys some rest going into the week. But we started back after today, and we'll probably go 2 days on, 1 day off, and then when we get into next week, get back to our regular week leading up to Thursday. But the big thing is just keeping the guys, making sure that they're not getting away from playing hockey. But as student athletes, they also have to make sure they're taking care of business in the classroom. So we're staying on top of them with all those things as well.
Jay, just to touch on a little more about what Reader had started with as far as coaching philosophy, and you got the bug in Providence, and we're an assistant coach on the bench, and you learn now going back to college, first year as a head coach. Is there big differences, or do you just coach the same way? We know you got to communicate more to the players, and certainly this is a younger group, college kids and college age. But what are the differences for you from the pros to now coaching BU?
Yeah, I do think it's similar. I think the communication part is huge. I think also trying to get the players to understand that, it's a team first mentality, and certain guys have to sacrifice certain things if you want to win as a group, and getting them to understand, and Kenny, you know better than anyone, to win, you have to do it together, and you have to sacrifice, certain individual things to help the team win, and getting the guys to buy into that and get them to understand that. It's not always easy. But that's the biggest message that I've tried to get across to this group this year, and these guys have taken it and they've grown from it.
So, Jay, what are some of the things coming up in the Final Four that aren't going to be easy for your group moving forward? Some of your biggest challenges in the final weekend of the season?
Well, the big thing is we're playing the number one team in the country who's got a high potent offense, and I was very fortunate when I was at BU to go to the Frozen Four 4 years in a row, and we only won it once. So it tells you right there that it's a very difficult tournament to win. The margin of error is slim in each and every game. Every little play matters. So that's the biggest message to our guys is we got to make sure that, we're doing things the right way and making sure we're taking care of business.
Hockey is alive and well right now in Boston with you guys heading the Frozen Four. And you mentioned your time spent before going to BU on the bench with the Boston Bruins in player development. I'd have to imagine you're still in touch with a lot of those guys. Are you surprised at the historic season that the Bees are having right now?
It's certainly impressive, especially this day and age, to do what they're doing. Yeah, I'm in regular contact with those guys. Great staff there. I've got to know Jim Montgomery over the years as well. He actually texted me this morning because he was obviously a college coach and won the national championship. I actually asked him what he did with that week off in between. So he sent me a text this morning what he did with his team. So he was very helpful. And I still have a great relationship over there with Joe Sacco, who was also a BU alum. He's helped me a lot. He was a big part of, I think, a big reason why I'm here too. I picked his brain a lot, being an assistant coach with him for 5 years, and he's helped me a lot. He's given me a ton of support. He calls me on a regular basis and helps me out a ton.
Well, Jay, we appreciate the time today on NHL Tonight. We wish you nothing but the best coming up next week down in Tampa.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.